All right, let's move on to our next panel discussion, which is around the hotel product. We brought in 3 different hotel companies, and the product conversation is going to be led by our Director of Consulting Services, the very talented, the very beautiful Kelly Wagner. Please come on to our studios, Kelly.
Hi, Mike.
Good to see you. How are you?
Great to see you. Great to be here in person.
I've seen you on a number of Zoom calls as well.
Absolutely.
Kelly Wagner around the office is known as K-Wags, but I'll refrain from calling you that today because that might be a little less professional. But K-Wags, let's kick it off, if you could, please.
Let's kick it off. We have some great panelists today. I would like to allow them to introduce themselves, but before they do, we have John Ryan from Hilton Hotels, Loews O'Shea from Loews Hotels, and Lucia Hatfield from the Rawah Ranch and Villas Del Mar. Go ahead, John. Would you like to introduce yourselves and tell us about yourself?
Yes, hi there, and good afternoon, everybody. And again, congratulations to World Travel for putting on this symposium, be it virtually. We're delighted to be a sponsor and a real joy to be one of our preferred partners. So my name is John Ryan. I'm leading the Global Travel Partnerships Division for Hilton, which primarily includes all our commercial agreements and strategic relationships with our TMC and key consortia partnerships. And I've been with Hilton over just 12 months this month. And prior to that, a span history in the hospitality, spreading across OTAs, TMCs, and the hotel world. So I've come back 360. So delighted to be with you all today.
Thank you. Loews?
Hi there. My name is Loews O'Shea with Loews Hotels & Co., Executive Director over Transient Sales. And I have been with Loews my whole adult life. I like to say I stopped naming the years, but we are a small luxury brand hotel company based in North America. And much like John, thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of this panel. And I'm still giggling over Lisa and Jeopardy.
That was great. And Loews and I go way back to our, I don't know, 10, 15 years, has it been?
You're giving a number, Cal.
We don't want to date ourselves.
No numbers. Yes, we did. We go way back.
Absolutely. And we have the pleasure of Lucia.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. My name is Lucia Hatfield, and I have the pleasure of owning the Rawah Ranch in Northeast Colorado and the Villas Del Mar luxury villa resort next to the one and only Palmilla in Los Cabos.
Great, thank you. So a couple questions for all of you to get started. As we continue on the road to recovery, can you talk to us about occupancy level at your properties and what you are learning from the guests who have checked in during this pandemic? John, would you like to begin?
Sure. Well, gosh, I keep reminding ourselves that at Hilton, we've got over 6,200 hotels globally and 18 brands. And you think, crikey, that's a lot of beds to fill. And, you know, no doubt the industry, the pandemic hit all of us very hard. And, you know, occupancy for us it hit the grand low was about 13% globally at the beginning, or sort of end of March, beginning of April. But the good news is at the end of Q2, and you've seen that probably from our quarterly 2 results, we're up to 45%. And I'm glad to say, and that's more to come in our next earnings call, you'll see that there is an improvement in that. So progress is there. But more importantly, I'm delighted to say that over 98% of our hotels are reopened today, which is fantastic. You know, so there's only a handful left that are still suspended. So 98% out of 6,200 is quite phenomenal. We're really positive about it. And I think, you know, when we talk to our customers, and we really have listened to our customers right across the different segments, but the one thing that they want to hear and be seen to experience when they stay with us is that reassurance of safety and cleanliness. And they're the 2 key things that have really come to play with our customers, you know, that whole cleanliness. And look, Hilton prides itself in operating clean hotels traditionally, and we've been in the business for this is our 101-year birthday this year. Last year we celebrated 100 years. So we pride ourselves in cleanliness. But this is the key thing that they're looking for customers, is that reassurance that our hotels are safe to stay in, there is social distancing, and there is cleanliness there. But on top of that, the occupancy continues to grow. You know, certain over the holiday period, July the 4th, we reached 80% occupancy in the US. The holidays in China, against some of our resort properties, reached over 100%. So depending on the market, there's some great results. So it's slow, it's coming back the right way, but it's slow.
And Lois?
Hi there, I have a dog behind me, so I keep putting you on mute. Much like an e-learner, right, Cal? So occupancy levels for us, again, being smaller, 26 hotels, obviously March wreaked havoc on the entire brand. We had 4 hotels that stayed open throughout the entirety, and I am happy to say at the end of this month, all of our hotels will be reopened with the exception of New York City. So much like what John said, it's slowly but surely rebounding, but occupancy levels have been unlike anything, obviously, we've ever seen before. And as far as the guests and coming back and what we're learning from them, they're very leaning more towards leisure focused over the last couple months. We're seeing the small to mid-sized companies do a little bit more travel. And you know, they're looking to see things. They want to be able to see and touch the safety measures that are in place. So that's something that we're concentrating on as a brand and really focusing, much like John said, and moving forward as far as recovery with the occupancy, depending on what happens over the next 6 to 8 weeks, hopefully see that start to climb a little bit more.
We'll keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And how about you, Lucia?
Well, we have 2 different products. The villas here in Mexico, we have the highest occupancy at this time of the year ever. What we've noticed is that whereas we used to have homeowners and guests that would come for a week or 2 or 3, they've actually extended their stays into a month or 2 and whatnot. So it's interesting because it was highly unexpected because March they closed the borders and we thought everything was headed downhill, but people decided that Cabo was safe to stay and visit, and our standards are so high. We set the standards for Cabo, so they're confident in our product. As far as the ranch is up in the middle of nowhere in Northeast Colorado, and it was our best season ever. We had the highest number of reservations, and we had people, our season ended September 30th, and they have made new reservations for the next season. So the pandemic, in a way, has been a backward blessing.
That's great to hear. On to the next question. For you, Lucia, as a smaller property focusing on leisure travel, I know you have implemented some of the same cleaning and social distancing protocols that the larger hotel chains have. Can you talk to us about the guest experience? Are guests still experiencing those same activities that they would prior to COVID?
Actually, yes, because the vast majority, and I'm speaking about the ranch. The ranch actually is not only leisure, but corporate. We do a lot of corporate retreats and whatnot. But all our ranch activities, such as shooting, riding, fly fishing, we have 9 miles of the river on the property. Everything has gone on as usual. So people get a chance to come and they're outdoors, they're doing things. They're not locked into a room or stuck in a particular area of the property. They have 500,000 acres to roam. So it's, for us, nothing has changed. It just highlights the strengths of the ranch.
I think we need a world travel team building event out there.
You're welcome.
On to you, Lois, for Lowe's. I know it's been a long road to recovery, and some of your hotels were temporarily closed during the pandemic. Can you talk to us about what the reopening was like and what changes your guests can experience to see now that you have reopened?
Of course, much to what Lucia mentioned, we are seeing more travel to those secondary and tertiary cities, more so than our city centers. So the act of reopening has been certainly arduous and detail oriented, but our key focus was bringing back our team members. We put a lot of our team members on furlough, and as we reopened hotels, we were able to bring a majority of them back. So when you check in to the hotel, obviously, I think many of us have been to hotel and many of us have just read about it, but it does look completely different. Much like I mentioned, the guests would like to see what's happening. So when they go to the front desk, they see the plexiglass as they check in. There are markings on the lobby floor to ensure social distancing. The furniture, we do have ribbons that cover certain seats. So, you know, to, again, enforce that social distancing without being over the top. Our elevators are modified as far as how many people can be on the elevators. The mini bars at most of our hotels have been taken out, but can be ordered through the front desk. There's hand sanitizers everywhere. When you check in as well, you get a hand sanitizer and a bottled water. But also, as far as cleaning is concerned, as we've reopened, keeping those rooms vacant before cleaning has been something operationally that we've had to learn how to do, and also ensure that the guest feels comfortable when they are checking into a room. So yeah, I think as it mentioned on the transportation panel, it's kind of like the new normal, but it's great having the hotels reopen. It's just instituting these new operations that are now a part of life.
Absolutely, a part of our life for the near future, right?
Yeah.
So John, this one's for you. We just saw in your video a few moments ago the changes Hilton has implemented in the cleaning and sterilization processes. Can you talk more about these new standards and what guests can expect when they visit a hotel on their next trip?
Sure. Well, I'm delighted that you were able to experience the video. I promise you, experience it in firsthand is very different. Of which I was very lucky to recently stay in a couple of our hotels, and you know, the Clean Stay video is super. But I always say, you know, seeing is believing, and experience it. But as I said earlier, we've always prided ourselves, always in hospitality, of good, clean standards. But given the COVID and the pandemic, our customer wants that reassurance that what extra are you going to the mall to prove that. So we partnered up with the experts at Lysol and the Mayo Clinic, and we basically have rolled out across all our hotels globally a program called Clean Stay. And that's a more enhanced cleaning and sterilization program from the public areas, the meeting space areas, the guest bedrooms, the public areas, the spa facilities, the gym workout areas. And our teams are receiving, you know, ongoing briefings and enhanced operating protocols on how to execute and implement those. We're taking additional measures, you know, developed in consultation with global and local public health authorities, including the World Health Organization and the CDC, to make our cleaning and hygiene protocols even more rigorous. So it's very much ongoing. We've certainly increased the frequency of cleaning our public areas, where, you know, in the past you see the lobby areas may be done at the night staff, but now we're actually doing it also during the day, so customers can actually see that, so they've got that reassurance that it's actually happening. So there's it's interesting, you know, that sort of little example was done in the old days at nighttime. Now we want the customers to see it. The frequent usage and display of dispensers across the areas. Food preparation, you know, we've got a fantastic food enhanced buffet service, which is much more protocol around gloves, offering gloves for the clients, offering still service, but keeping that safety in mind. And also, you know, our Hilton Honors app, which is across, we've got 106 million members, Honors members globally, of which they are benefiting from a whole touchless experience. So those customers can have a touchless check-in. So they don't have to go to the reception desk. So it's touchless. They check in from their mobile app. They use their mobile app to check into their bedroom, go straight, the door opens. And when they're in the bedroom, they have touchless contact from different areas in the room, to also customer communication with our employees in-house. So that whole touchless experience is further enhancing the cleanliness and the sterilization aspect going forward, and offering that peace of mind to our customers and travelers.
Exactly. The Hilton app is wonderful. It's so nice to not have to rummage around and look for a key when you can just use your phone.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
in 1 minute or less, one final question I would like to pose to all of you. As we continue to see travel demand rising, what are your expectations for the remainder of 2020 and onward into 2021? Lucia, I'll begin with you.
Well, I think that our expectations is that a lot of the bookings happen last minute, especially in the leisure. Holiday travel is only starting to pick up now. I expect it to be a slow, steady growth. And for the next year, I think probably by the summer, people will feel much better or much more comfortable about traveling. And both maybe into Mexico where we are or throughout the United States, I think the US is recovering a lot faster in the way of travel than abroad.
Thank you. Maybe a fam trip to Mexico would be better. How about you, Lois? What do you think?
Can I go to the fam trip? No, I think for us, it's really expect the unexpected. You know, the CDC coming out with they had a different update the other day that the next 6 to 8 weeks could be worse than what we've experienced. So we're holding steadfast just to forge ahead and get through this till we get to the vaccine. Occupancy levels for us this year we're going to hover around 30%, which is crazy. But I know STAR for the week of October 3rd had a 47% occupancy out there. So it's getting bigger, it's growing, and we're also expecting more travel again to the tertiary cities. So we're focusing in on that.
Great, thank you. And finally, John?
Well, you know, again, it's difficult to predict, isn't it? We've all read the articles every day, every week. Some of them change, some of them have different opinions. I think, look, corporate transient here in the Americas, the focus is more on domestic, whilst the international, you know, conditions remain in place, the restraints remain in place. Europe, it's very, very difficult. Obviously, more so because of the different borders and the constraints there, and they're more dependent on inter-European travel. So that's limiting that. But in the Americas, you know, we're seeing corporate transient move slowly, definitely on the way up. Less, but longer length of stay. The area that's keeping us moving a lot is leisure travel. People at the end of the day, you know, families, they want to get away. And it's very much last minute. So the booking lead-in time has shortened. And I think that we'll see that for the next 12 months. It'll be short trips. They'll be looking at secondary locations outside the urban cities, safe areas, safe urban resort areas. Exclusivity is important, I think, for our exclusive resorts. So that will play a key point, a key plus for them. But also national park destinations will be important and become more regular. But, you know, the business, as we all know, as Lucia and Lewis knows, we're resilient. We've been through this before. We've been through crises before. Travel is there to stay. We just need to keep strong. And I think there's 3 areas that will keep us going in the future for the next 2 years. And that's the technology, how we can further enhance technology to make it more seamless for our customers in travel, whether it's with the airlines, car companies, hotel companies, or as Caitlin alluded to earlier, the PMC, we're also working with World Travel. Partnerships is going to be key. You know, who we work with, stronger partnerships and working together and really getting into the details of focus for our customers. And finally, innovation. So I think they're the 3 key things. Partnerships, technology, and innovation will be the three levers to help us get through this over the next couple of years. So it'll be slow, but we're resilient as a group and a business and an industry.
Great. Thank you so much for being on the panel and for your partnerships, and especially to Hilton for being one of our sponsors today. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Mike?
Kelly, thank you very much. It's great to see you. I have a question for you before you leave, though.
I knew it was coming.
So we've heard from these wonderful travel professionals, and they are leading the hotel industry and really setting those standards. But I know in your role, one of the many hats you wear is working on RFPs for our customers, and your whole department, a very large department working on them. Tell us how busy you've been with respect to 2021.
It's been crazy, absolutely crazy. Just with some of our major chains, hotel sales teams not being deployed or being furloughed, coming back right around now, we are just going fast and furious. We have over 250 corporate client programs that we're managing with over 12,000 hotels that we're contacting to set up negotiated rates for next year. So our team, we are on it, and we can't wait for the RFP season to be over and be into 2021.
And that's truly why World Travel has not laid off or furloughed anybody, because of the fact that we are preparing ourselves for next year and getting ready. It is a phenomenal benefit, a value add that World Travel provides for its customers. For those of you who are not yet customers, hopefully you will be by the end of the day. But speak to your salesperson, speak to your account manager about the benefit and the value. If you're currently doing your RFPs on your own, Kelly has the ability to take that off your shoulders. So thank you very much, Kelly.
Thank you.
Great seeing
It was
you.
great to see you.
Be well.
We'll
There
go
you
like that.
go.
All right, take care, everybody.